Welcome to the new normal of Truthside TV. I'm Nilantha Ilangamuwa. 1948 is the controversial year of a world history. There were many landmark occasions occur in that year. In 1948, the father of nonviolence, Mahatma Gandhi, was assassinated. Communists seized the power in Czechoslovakia. A Marshall Plan after World War II was ratified by the US Congress. Myanmar, then Burma, Sri Lanka, then Ceylon gained independence from United Kingdom. But out of those all events, there was one of the most controversial events was reported in Middle East, which was creation of the State of Israel by questioning the statehood of Palestine. Since 1948, Palestinian people are struggling enormously, and their struggle is now being one of the most controversial issue in geopolitical arena. Today, we are going to discuss with this very issue with a person who born in Ramallah in Palestine and joined with the Foreign Service in 2000. My guest today is the ambassador of States of Palestine to Sri Lanka, Dr. Zuhair Zaid. Your Excellency, welcome to the new normal, the platform for serious talks of Truthside TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Give us a brief background about your career as a diplomat.
As Palestinians, we have a special way for our diplomacy. First of all, we have the PLO diplomacy, which change the situation regarding the Palestinians in general, where the world was looking to the Palestinians as a refugee issue, a humanitarian issue. PLO put the Palestinian issue as a political one on the political map of the world. After that, we have the Palestinian Authority. At that time, Ministry of Planning and International Relations holding the diplomacy file. With the change and the development, we launched our new foreign ministry and in 2005, and we adopt the diplomatic law, and we start as foreign ministry, and nowadays it's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and expertise.
Sri Lanka and Palestine are continue to enjoy the cordial relationship since it's established. And what are the mutual benefit of this historic friendships and the diplomatic relationship?
Let me tell you something about the historical relation we have. As Palestinians with the Sri Lankans, we have the same history. Both nations faced the occupation. Both countries struggled for their independence, and this is a sort of sympathy that we have from the Sri Lankan people, the Sri Lankan government. We, as Palestinians, we are supporting Sri Lanka through the Palestinians, especially in international arena. The Sri Lanka can enjoy a very good relation with Arab and Muslim worlds. Palestine facilitating the relations, sometimes solving some problems, contribute to support Sri Lanka in handling its relation with some Arab countries. And I should say that if you go to Palestine, you will see that more than 95 consumption of tea is a Sri Lankan tea. And nowadays we have many new comers to Sri Lanka, especially the tourists. Our new generation, the youngs coming for honeymoon to Sri Lanka.
However, your embassy has issued the press statement recently saying that some of local media is not reporting accurate reports about Palestinian issues. This is of course unfortunate, and do you have any response to make here?
Let me tell you something. First of all, the Palestinian issue is one of the issues that united Sri Lankans. We have a very good relation on all levels with the Sri Lankan. We have a good relation with the government. At the same time, we have a good relation with the opposition. We have a good relation with all communities in the country. This really surprised us as Palestinians, but also we feel that there is sort of a trend in the Sri Lankan, some Sri Lankan medias try to say something that it's not really right, especially about Arab relation with Sri Lanka, the Arab state relation with Sri Lanka. In general, Arabs seeking for mutual benefits without explaining more. We are, as Arabs, not like others. We do not want to intervene in the internal issues in Sri Lanka. We are trying to support Sri Lanka in international arena all the time. We said we stand side by side with Sri Lanka. It doesn't matter which government in Sri Lanka. We have an economic relation. You have many labor in our countries. We are not like others seeking to have a military post or anything in this country. Arabs in general are a friendly countries that are having all the time a very good relation with Sri Lanka and seeking for mutual benefit for both the states, both states.
Palestinian history has changed in 1948, which is little more than 3 decades after Balfour Declaration. And in 1947, the UN announced the partition plan, suggesting the two-state solution, which has denied by the Arab state or the Palestinians. And since then, the crisis get more complicated. And I understand there are so many myths on this problem spreading around the world. And please tell us what exactly happened.
First of all, as a Palestinian, the majority are Muslim, but we have also Christian, and all we are the same nation. We are in the same boat. We are suffering the occupation altogether. Palestinians, it doesn't matter whom trying all the time to make sort of separation between our nation, he will not succeed. This is sort of misleading. This is distortion for the history of the Palestinians. This picture can give a very clear map for the development of our struggle. When it starts with 1948, and after that bill suggestion in 1937, and after that the United Nations
Partition plan.
And now what we accept as Palestinians to have our state on this part, Gaza Strip in this area, and the West Bank in this area, it's 22% of the historical Palestine. Before 1948, their percentage was less than 8%. In some numbers saying sometimes it was 6%. This is the history of the Palestinians, and now this is the suggestion of Trump plan, which can be very clear in this map. This is the suggestion of Trump plan. Which sort of state we can have here? Which connection will be with those parts that they want to give us in this area? How this will be? How this can be accepted in the Palestinian people in the world? How this can be clearly not contest with the international law, with the commitment of the international institutions. This thing is not acceptable for the Palestinians. It's nowadays they are speaking about annexation.
But Your Excellency, many reports indicate that most of Arab countries involved in this very crisis are not advocating peace. Do you think the key player of this crisis from Arab sides are not sincere to find the peaceful solution?
Let me tell you something. First of all, this is sort of misleading. This is sort of distortion. Right. Egypt has a peace agreement with Israel. Jordan has a peace agreement with Israel. Arabs launched their peace initiative, and whom refuse all the time is the Israelis. If they are speaking that Arabs before they refuse the partition, you should and we should ask why. Because the British at that time betrayed them. First of all, they betrayed them when they were committed and promised them to give them the independence in the Arab world. And they give Palestine for the Jewish in Balfour Declaration. After that, they betray them when they were controlling them in 1948, and who control also the armies of Arabs at that time was the UK. They give the support for the Jewish to defeat the Arabs, and they prevent weapons from Arabs. If this is right, why the Israelis do not accept to have nowadays the peace and to give us our state in 22%? Why they are seeking for more and more annexation and taking more and more land from the Palestinian people?
As you said, many fact-finding reports are providing with details the wrongdoing of Israeli governments against Palestinians, as well as some of the Israeli people are supporting the cause of Palestinian people. But unfortunately, the international community, including the UN and other treaty bodies, are helpless in solving this problem. That doesn't mean their voices are not heard, or what exactly is going on in the international community.
Your question is very, very, very important. International community and international organization like UN and the Security Council and other
treaty bodies,
yes, can do something if they have the will. They did this regarding South Africa when all the international community took an active actions against the apartheid regime at that time. International community intervening in many places in the world, in Europe, in our region, everywhere in the world, under the laws of the international organizations. Here, in our issue, when they are silent or when they just condemn, they give the Israelis the green light to do what they want. They encourage them to do what they are doing. Why I'm saying this? Because the Israeli leaders themselves speaking about this. They are all the time saying very clearly, say what you want as international community. say whatever you want, and we can do whatever we want. So international community, international organization should apply law on Israel. Israel should be under the international law. Without such active actions, Israel will continue, and it will lead for more bloodshed. The very dangerous thing that they are changing this struggle through their policies to be not a political one, but a religious one. And this is very, very dangerous.
Your Excellency, generation after generation is suffering due to this deadliest crisis of mankind. People on both sides deserve peaceful solutions, and then they need solution. They need a permanent peace, and they need a life without nightmare. So what are the solutions? So what you were suggesting? Are you ready to accept the two-state solution for this crisis? Oh.
As a Palestinian, and as one who suffer a lot, I know what's the meaning of peace. I do not want my children to suffer what I had suffered in my life. As a Palestinians from 1974, we accept to have one democratic state. We are ready for this also today. To have one state for two nations, to be a democratic, equal rights, equal laws, everything to be for the two nations. But the Israelis, they will not accept this, and they will not agree for this. Palestinians suffer a lot from this struggle. We have half of our people outside of our country. More than 7 million Palestinians outside in many countries in the world. We are seeking for peace. We are keen to have peace. We are ready to have also a separate state, so the Israelis can choose. If they want to give us, and we accept, we had make the real acceptance, which is to have 22% from the historic land of us as a Palestinian, from the historic Palestine. We accept to have our state on this 20, which is half of what the United Nations in 1947 gave us in the division suggestion at that time. So from our side, we did a lot. You can say what's going on nowadays. The debate between the Zionist administration of United States, Trump administration, and Netanyahu. This is an internal debate between them to annex more, and how to annex more and to take more of our land as Palestinians.
But that plan has been postponed.
It's not postponed. There is an internal debate between the two governments, how to handle this, how to do this. If this will be implemented, it's a very clear apartheid. See the debate inside the Israeli communities. If they are speaking about security matters, how to be secure with such a map, how to can secure the Palestinians or the settlers in this area. How when you move through this area you can secure. How much they will give the Palestinians. We will be as in cantons and enclaves. They are speaking about enclaves for us, the Palestinians. Which security they will have when they put us inside enclaves. Like in South Africa, the same. No security will be for both sides. And this is why also, as a Palestinians, we do not want, because this will lead to apartheid.
Your Excellency, in the same time, there is a sort of allegation against this Palestinian movements, saying that they don't have unity among them to achieve the greater goal of this struggle, and then they don't have power to utilize the people into one goal. So, what do you have to say about this?
We are like other nations in the world. We have several parties, we have several organizations, but we have one goal. All of us accepting, including Hamas, Jihad, and other organizations, we accept to have our state on the West Bank, on the borders of 1967. West Bank and Gaza Strip, 22%, with East Jerusalem as its capital. So, in this matter, we do not have any disputes. Just yesterday, we had a declaration from Fatah and Hamas that they will face together this plan, which is a Trump annexation plan. It's not a plan for peace. It's a plan for annexation more land of the Palestinian people.
Your Excellency, as you know, Sri Lanka was suffer a deadliest conflict for 3 decades. Now we are trying to regain what we have lost in last few decades. Please tell us if you have a message to deliver to the people of Sri Lanka and other areas where the conflicts are existing.
I entered Sri Lanka in 2014, 30th of April 2014. Now this is the 3rd government that I have worked with 3 prime ministers, 3 presidents for Sri Lanka. You have a very great homeland with a very generous and humble people. I think that Sri Lankan can handle their issues, can through discussion, through trying of sort of understanding, mutual understanding between the communities, between the parties, to solve all your internal issues. You don't have a big issue. You are Sri Lankan, all of you. You are united. You have one homeland, so you can manage. But external intervention should not be, and you should not accept this. Without this, you can manage, you can find the solution. I believe that Sri Lankan alone can solve their own problems and can reach solution for every dispute that you have.
Your Excellency, with that note, let's conclude this special interview, and thank you again for accepting our request, and let's pray for the peace for everyone on the earth.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciated your interview, and let us pray to pass this pandemic, to pass this difficult situation in success. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much for joining us.